In the not-too-distant future, the world has been ravaged by decades of nuclear war. Its barren landscape plagued by roaming genetic abominations called cardboard men, who prey on the last few remaining humans. You, mutant, prepare to die! My mouse! The color scheme idea for this build came from seeing some anodized green builds with gray appointments from Richmond Tactical. Obviously, there aren't any anodized green 80% lowers, so those of us that like to do our own builds, that wasn't really approachable. So the charcoal green Cerakote seen here was about as close as I could get to that. And then the gray appointments are either the standard Magpul gray or sniper gray for the metal parts that were coated with Cerakote as well. It's close enough to the Magpul gray that it seems to work well. Well, there you have it. And obviously the question is, all said and done, what do I think of it? I'm going to be honest, I hate this gun. It is easily my least favorite project that I have ever built. On this channel, I generally try and focus on just manufacturing and like skills building. I generally try and shy away from reviews, except when something is just absolutely egregious. And then I feel almost a necessity to call it out. And that's what I feel about this Foxtrot Mike upper. When we were doing all the lightning cuts and whatnot, I did mention that the aluminum was almost a little gummy when we were doing these parts here, and that's odd, but there are different grades of aluminum, even within the same type. So just because it's 6061, there's grades of 6061. There's certain quality control things. I get the impression that they're just using a lower grade of aluminum, but honestly, I probably would have looked past that too, except this. And you might go, how do you have a complete gun if the barrel nut is not on it? That's because I had to recreate a second barrel nut. I did it on my lathe and my CNC machine. And the reason is, when you go to torque this down, even at the low end of AR-15 barrel nut torque specs, it shears right here. So I was tightening it. I got to, I think, 32 or 34 foot-pounds, and all of a sudden it just was super easy to spin. I was like, what in the world just happened? Well, that happened. It literally sheared the nut. In their defense, in the manual, it does say that you should not remove this barrel nut, and it will void your warranty if you do so. And they are serious about that. If you call them up, they will point you to a spot on their website where you can buy a new barrel nut for like almost $50 after shipping. I obviously figured I'm not going to give this company any more of my money, hence why I just made my own. The other reason I made my own is I bought 7075 aluminum, which is 75% stronger tensile strength than 6061, which I imagine is what they probably made this out of because it's so much cheaper to do so. So mine is a lot stronger now. It torques down just fine. But again, why am I mad at them if they warn you about this? One, because that's unreasonable. Obviously, people are going to want to customize their guns, Cerakote them, etc. So having a one-time use barrel nut is absolutely ridiculous. But even more than that was when I did some math and figured out why the barrel nut is one-time use. If you take the threads of a standard receiver and you take the diameter of this barrel nut, after accounting for the depth of the threads, there is a 32nd of an inch, actually slightly less than a 32nd of an inch of material for the nut. Of course it falls apart. Like, who engineered this? Who approved this engineering, even more so? So, I don't even know what to say here. Like, I can't believe that that was seen as a good idea, but so it was. The other thing that kind of annoys me is I've dropped it a bunch of times already. Like, have you ever had just a cursed weapon? It's like, even before it's done, you've dropped it multiple times and you've dinged it up. I think that's just schmutz that'll come off if I rub. But it's just like this weapon doesn't want to be nice. I will say, I do kind of like the PDW brace thing. That's cool. You push it down or push it up. Yeah, push it up and it flips back. That's kind of nifty. But overall, yeah, it is what it is. I have it now. I'll play with it a little bit, but just meh. Not necessarily my favorite by any means. Since this is a braced pistol, let's see if the brace, even accompanied by a rest, does anything to help at distance. Spoiler alert, it does not. I will admit, as much as I don't functionally like the gun or like it from an engineering perspective, I do really like how the color scheme turned out.